Hi, and thank you everyone for coming today. I'm Carol Gillespie. I'm with the Asian American Donor Program. I'm the executive director. And I'd first like to introduce you to your press packet. Everything that you need is inside. It has a list of the drives that are coming up, some national statistics, some information about Katie. The press release is in there as well. So if something isn't covered here, certainly you can ask us later, or it's in your press packet. So I would like just to go around the table before we start, and everybody can just introduce themselves, and then we'll come back to me.
I'm Assemblyman Roger Nilo, and I represent the Sacramento area.
I'm Katie Kramer.
I'm Katie's mom, Sherry Kramer.
I'm Assemblywoman Fiona Ma, representing San Francisco, but also on the board of the Asian American Donor Program.
I'm Senator Mark DeSonia. I represent Contra Costa County in the 7th Senatorial District.
Thank you very much. So I just want to say why we're here today is Katie was diagnosed with leukemia, and she will need a bone marrow transplant. It's a long-term cure for her, so that's what we're hoping for, and we want to get the message out to the community. There's about 36,000 people that are diagnosed with leukemia alone every year. About 10,000 of these people will require a bone marrow or stem cell transplant, again, as a long-term cure. Currently, the Be the Match registry facilitates about 5,000 transplants a year. So you see that there is a discrepancy there. There's 10,000 people that need transplants, and right now we're facilitating about 5,000. The reason being we need more people listed on the National Marrow Donor Program registry, or Be the Match registry. And we need more diverse individuals on the registry. Ethnic minority community has about a 35–40% chance of finding a perfect match on the current registry, and we definitely need to increase that so people like Katie can find that perfect match and move on and live her life. So I would like to call on Katie at this time, and she can talk about her story. Katie?
Hi, I'm Katie Kramer. I'm 16 years old. When I was 12, I was diagnosed with AML, and about 2 months ago, I got the diagnosis that I had relapsed. So right now, we're looking for a match so I could have a stem cell transplant. And
you want to tell them what just happened to you?
So early April, I was crowned second princess in the Miss Teen Asia Sacramento pageant.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, Sherry, would you like to say something?
Sure. Katie and her siblings, sister and brother, were both all adopted from China. Because she is adopted, she has no sibling matches for a transplant match. So the search becomes a little bit more challenging. Also, because she is from an ethnic group within China, it maybe compounds the situation. I'm not up to speed on all of the search processes, but it's my understanding. So we have a lot of faith and hope that a perfect match will be found. But in the meantime, until Katie needs that match, we're going to do all we can to promote registration of minorities too. I also am an ESL teacher and have worked within the minority population for the past 20 plus years, so I have a lot of connections to I hope to call upon. And Katie will be going inpatient as of Monday to begin chemo to bring her into remission, so our search is a little bit more pressed right now because we want to find that perfect match before she falls out of the protocol.
right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So for people like Katie and other patients that have leukemia, their most likely match will be somebody within their own ethnic background or heritage. So in Katie's case, she's Chinese, so her most likely donor will be someone that's Chinese or someone within the Asian community. It does happen, but it's very rare that she would match someone that's Caucasian or African American. We encourage certainly all ethnic minorities and everyone that's interested in joining the registry to come out tomorrow at a drive that we're hosting here at the Capitol. And Senator, you can talk about that.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for Katie and Mom and my colleagues for being here. I became familiar with this particular issue through a constituent, Megan Williams, who unfortunately lost her 27-year-old daughter, Michelle, and started a program called Project Michelle, and it's basically to try to raise awareness amongst the entire population, particularly minority populations, about the need for donors. 13% of the population in California are Asian Americans. Only 7% are as the population on the donor registry. Similarly, with African Americans, it's even lower. And has been said, the need to have a match is important. 70% of the transplants actually happen within the family, but most of that is people of European descent. So I actually am carrying a bill as part of Megan's life story and Michelle's to try to grant, that's now over in the Assembly, to grant paid leave for private employers around the country. There are many examples of this. So it's been an amazing experience to learn about this, but today is mostly about just raising awareness. And I want to thank Katie in particular for her courage, and hopefully as a result of this press conference and this awareness, we'll get you a match.
Yeah, Fiona, go ahead.
I've been familiar with the Asian American Donor Program for about 15 years and joined the board about 10 years ago. And when Asian American Donor Program first started, they had 123 registered Asians in the database. Today, there is about 589,000 Asians in the database, but clearly we need more. So we thank Katie for her courage to come out here. We're encouraging more people to register in the database, be a potential bone marrow donor. Tomorrow we have a bone marrow drive here at the State Capitol, 9 to 5 p.m., the corner of 10th and N Streets. Room 127 here in the Capitol. So we're encouraging as many people to come out. Not only Asians, of course, Asians is the priority at this moment for Katie, but anybody who can and is willing to come out. It's a very simple process. It takes 5 minutes. It's a cheek swab, so it's not painful. So again, tomorrow from 9 to 5 here in the Capitol, room 127. Thank you.
Again, I'm Roger Neal. I represent the Sacramento area, and I've been very involved with fundraising for the local Leukemia Lymphoma Society here in Sacramento, a very successful event that we've been the title sponsor of called the Man Woman of the Year event. And through that involvement have become familiar with the challenges of having a registry for bone marrow donors. And, you know, everybody knows they can give blood. That's fairly well known, and not that there isn't a lot more work that needs to be done there, but it's much better known. The familiarity with the need for bone marrow contributions, that's not the right word, donations for people to give for bone marrow is not particularly well known, and it's extremely important that we make sure that more and more people know of this need, and I think through public education we can begin to make a big difference. So that's why this sort of event is important. The drive tomorrow is very important, and other drives that we have that are sponsored by Blood Source, a great local organization that is involved with this. So we just need to get the word out.
It's pretty simple to register. Actually, that's probably the simplest thing to do. And all you need to do is fill out a consent form. Takes about 7 minutes. Okay, that's difficult. But all that information you know off the top of your head. And the swabbing is incredibly easy. You just open up a swab kit. They look like Q-tips, except for they're a little longer. Don't stick them in your ear. And you just put them in your mouth, up against inside your cheek, and twirl it around for a few minutes and take it out. There's 4 swabs. So it literally just takes a few minutes to register. But it's the most important step that you can make. You could potentially save someone's life and be on the registry from the time you register up until your 61st birthday. So some people could be on the registry for 20 years. So I encourage the entire community to come out tomorrow, participate. Go to our website or go to Blood Source website. They have several Marrow drives in the community, local community here. And I thank everyone for coming by. Thank you.
Questions?
Are there any folks who would be excluded because of health conditions?
And anyone that has previously had cancer would be excluded. People with serious lung conditions. There are a variety of things, but we would do the screening the day of the drive. People that have that are diabetic, for instance, things like that.
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis B, yeah.
And is there any explanation why participation from the Asian community is not as great as it could be?
I could give a couple reasons. I think one is just lack of awareness about the need and how easy it is to participate. So getting the word out and educating the community, I think, is the most important thing. Fiona, would you have anything else to comment on that?
Well, you know, I'm the poster child for the hepatitis B campaign, and Asians don't typically like to talk about illnesses or problems. And again, this is something that requires people to come out and actually register and you know, be contacted. And it's just a difficult thing to get the Asian community to kind of participate voluntarily, willingly. But it is important because you can save lives. And that's the important message here, is that, you know, if you are a potential match, you can potentially save the life of somebody else. So it is important, and it's important that we all talk about it and encourage more people to register.
What was the age range again, that people who are eligible?
18 to 60.
And once you do find a match, how difficult is it then to donate?
Well, there are 2 procedures. If you're found to be the exact match for the patient in need, the traditional method of marrow collection is a day in the hospital under general anesthetic. They inject about 5 needles into the hip bone in the back area and extract some of the bone marrow. That bone marrow is immediately delivered to the patient or taken to the patient for transplantation. Bone marrow naturally regenerates itself, so it's back in your system in about a week, week and a half. Definitely feel a little sore, achy in that local area. But that procedure only happens 30% of the time. A lot of people will probably know that procedure well. The new procedure is called peripheral blood stem cell collection. Very, very simple. You go to the collection center every day for about 4 or 5 days in a row, long enough to receive a shot in your arm. That shot is a synthetic form of a protein that your body naturally secretes. And what it does is it stimulates the growth of the stem cells and allows them to be released in your bloodstream. So after the shot series, on day 5 or 6, you go back to the collection center. They put a needle in both arms. They take the blood from one arm. Stem cells fall in a separate bag, and the rest of the blood products go in your other arm. So you're literally missing nothing except for what we mass produce by the shots. It's such an amazing procedure to give someone a whole new lease on life. I don't think it's a whole lot to ask.
Anything else?
And we're just talking one-time procedure, it's nothing that's continual or...
No, the collection is a one-time procedure, yeah. I mean, some patients could use a little boost, and you might be called back, but in most cases, it's just a one-time procedure.
So we expect to see you all out there.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.